Stitch by stitch, we give thanks. Every strand
Of course, never having constructed something on this magnitude, none of us really knew what to expect when we began this project. Our plans consistently got modified and changed. My family got pulled into the whole project, and it took a lot of teamwork to get this bus cleaned and start deconstructing it to reconstruct it into the classroom that it's going to become. We spent hours upon hours cleaning, pulling out seats, ripping out flooring. The guys were constantly out there sawing and cutting and pulling things off and getting things constructed and added into this wonderful addition. Our generator gets delivered and installed as well. Here Andy's grinding off metal. They're sawing things off at the bottom. They've cut out parts of the back of the bus to make room for the generator and the HVAC unit. Dennis and Andy figured out how to support both of these units. We did a lot of planning together on how all this would be put together. There was a lot of ingenious engineering and fabrication that occurred with this bus. I can't possibly narrate everything that's happening here because it's moving so quickly, but you can just see the various stages of construction that we are going through with the bus, including installing the sink and the lights and cabinets, trying to get wiring, things like that taken care of, as well as moving the heaters and ripping up flooring and installing new flooring. That's me painting. Did a lot of that. Applying the new flooring, which turned out beautiful, and getting everything ready to fabricate for the shelving, or not the shelving, the benches and the countertops for the students to sit at while they worked. This was such a collaborative effort getting this bus created and finished. There was just an enormous team of people that worked on it, including some of our other schools and students came out and helped get the bus prepared for our vinyl wrap. They helped get all of the stickers and things ground off or peeled off, and they painted bumpers and all of the black hardware on the outside. The bus was relatively old, so it needed a little pick-me-up, or a lift, as you would say. This is where we were getting it vinyl wrapped out at JRAG in Birmingham. The design was created by students out at Shades Valley High School in the Jefferson County School of Visual Art, which is led by Mr. Olson Ross, and the students competed for their design to be on the bus, and they did a wonderful job, and we had 2 students selected to have their design on the exterior. We worked with a graphic design artist to get it all kind of melded and meshed together. At the same time as working on the interior, I was also working with teams to develop curriculum and also songs and lyrics. We have a whole component with the programming where we are integrating the core subjects in with the fine arts, and we are also adding in music and dance, and everything is all interconnected. And we just had hours upon hours of conversations and planning meetings while we were developing all of this, and I wanted to show you some of our planning meetings and what that looks like.
And I don't take this wrong, but you know how Sting in his tunes always has this kind of, I hate to use the term oddball, but a bridge that just is a complete different change of groove. That section to me felt like maybe it would be cool to experiment with a little bit of that, like go make it a not off the wall, but make it a non-related bridge to set it off, so that because you're doing different things in there, you have that chance.
It's so interesting also that a lot of people think like the largest birds might go the furthest as far as like flying, but it's actually sometimes the tiniest birds that actually migrate the furthest. So that's a real like little engine that could, kind of lessen for them.
Yeah. That's
Because like if you look at like hummingbird migrations and a lot of people don't know that Alabama is like when they're returning from the South, Alabama is one of the first major landfalls. So like at a certain time of year, if you go down to like Bon Secour or Orange Beach, there's these areas where birds have been crossing the Gulf, and they're literally, these little birds are so exhausted and pooped that they just like fall to the ground and are exhausted and can't fly anymore. So the first sight of land, they just fall and they just hit the ground. And it's a great time to bird watch. And it's also a great, that's why we do so much bird banding to track them down at the coast.
That's really cool. I just love that so much.
Very fascinating. So Tina, with the science standards, what's popping up in the kindergarten, second, and fifth grade standards that you feel are important to mention that we might need to explore?
So, and I wrote this on our little thing. So, with what I know that I can't get my
On the chart
together. This is a whole lot of stuff, but like there's one constructing a model of a natural habitat that would go along with some of the stuff that we're talking about, and that would go along with shapes and architecture that y'all had talked about with some of the other units.
Mm-hmm.
That would definitely work. And that's kindergarten, and then of course kindergarten is about it is a living or non-living thing. So I mean that's you could do something with, is it a living thing, is it a non-living thing, how do we know? With second grade it goes deeper into let's see, I was trying to look at like we have a design and construct models to simulate how birds disperse seeds to pollinate plants. So something we could add something like that. I wonder if we could do something, because they do have where they conduct tests about the speed of falling objects due to gravity. I wonder if we could talk about like link that with the speed of some birds. I mean, I know it doesn't have to do with gravity, but just linking that with, how fast some birds fly.
The concept of acceleration connects either way, horizontally or vertically.
Right, yeah.
The photographs that you're about to see are samples made by teachers of the artwork and projects that the kids will be making while they're on the bus. You'll also hear in the background throughout the video music, and all of the music has been written and recorded by our artists, and the lyrics were all written in-house, either by myself, the curriculum and instruction department, Dr. Brown, Greg Gamina, Calliope Pettis has been our musician that we hired that has done all the recording and the music and the singing for us. Tara Sartorius helped write a lot of the curriculum and helped organize that along with our curriculum and instruction department. And we worked very hard to make sure it's all very integrated with all of our students' core standards. So there's a lot of heavy science and math and reading behind each of these lessons.
We're going. Gotta use our thinking cap, no more yap, 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 till we know what's happening. And from a bird's eye view, me and you, it's you and I, can anticipate the journey and all the things we may find.